So this is a video that I didn't really want to make today. Hell, this is a video that I never wanted to make. And it's about the future of Need for Speed. Well, as of, I think, today, the executive producer of Ghost Games, Marcus Nilssen, has stepped down from his post. That's really, really worrying. For those of you who don't know, Marcus Nilssen was the executive producer, which means every idea that anyone had about where the franchise should go came through him. So everything you see in Need for Speed Payback or anything you see in Need for Speed 2015, he gave the okay. He gave the go-ahead. Same for Need for Speed Rivals, actually, as well. Which is really worrying because he's now stepped down, which has left the future of Need for Speed, for now at least, until there is something said, it leaves it in turmoil. Which is not good, because Need for Speed could just go right back into the dark ages of just being actual mediocre, and not mediocre because IGN says so, actual mediocre and not fun at all. Okay? We know Need for Speed Payback kind of fucked up, but we kind of knew that they had something good for Need for Speed 2019 in the works, but now we don't know, because the guy who gave every fucking idea the go-ahead has left. And there's so many reasons that people have come up with, so many theories. We don't know until there is, an announcement made out by Ghost or EA or Marcus Nilssen himself. We don't know. But it leaves the future of Need for Speed in turmoil, because we could just go right back into the dark ages of Need for Speed again. And I'm talking Hot Pursuit 2010, Shift 2, Most Wanted 2012, Rivals. I'm talking that bad, okay? Just in the last 2 years, we've been steering more towards the underground-esque, even Payback, which was great. It was the direction that Need for Speed should be going. It's what Fast and Furious was inspired by, because it was very good. It was entertaining. It was fun. That's what Fast and Furious used to be, and now look at it. But honestly, I'm worried. I'm really worried, because Need for Speed is one of, if not my favourite franchise of all time, because of the Underground series. And you guys know my opinions on Need for Speed 2015. I loved Need for Speed 2015. I still play it now. I try to play it as much as possible, because it's just a great racing game. Okay? But now, what's going to happen to Ghost? They've lost their executive producer, their leader, their founder, Marcus Nilssen. They've lost him because he's left. And the only reason I can come up with is EA. Because Need for Speed Payback, it didn't do so well now, did it? Not that it was a bad game, but it was boring after the story. I will say that. And the reviews, which I don't know why people give a fuck about reviews. IGN, they don't know a good game if it spanked them in the arse. They don't fucking know a good game, especially when it comes to racing. Okay? They gave games like Hot Pursuit 2010 and Most Wanted 2012 and Rivals an almost perfect score. So what EA are doing listening to IGN, I don't bloody know, because it really doesn't affect any fan with a brain, let's be honest. Any person with a brain knows that game reviewers, they can't be listened to anymore, okay? Either they don't know what the fuck's going on, or they've been paid to give a good review, okay? Luckily, Need for Speed doesn't do that, okay? But, oh my god, EA, holy shit. I mean, you killed Battlefield. I never even played Battlefield, but I liked watching gameplay of it. You killed that. Only 2,000 viewers on Twitch now, that game. While Black Ops has 80,000. So, you killed Battlefield 5, didn't you, EA? FIFA, dead. It just is. Don't fucking argue with me. Do you even see anyone like remotely important making any content on FIFA at this point if it isn't like, you know, a one-off vid? Like, come on. So I don't want Need for Speed to go down that hill again. Need for Speed got killed already, okay? Kind of revived on the YouTube scene because of YouTubers like Black Panther and Straight Up Hippo, you know, just screaming at EA for allowing Need for Speed Rivals to be. But EA don't care. Rivals got a good review, yeah? And it gave them a load of money because a lot of people bought Rivals because of those reviews, which is stupid. It's stupid. I don't know exactly what's going to happen. Well, there's a lot of things that could happen, and most of them are not good at all. I mean, we could, by some chance, Ghost still lead Need for Speed. We just get a different producer that's similar, that has similar ideals to what Need for Speed should be. And yeah, we get something like Need for Speed Underground 3 or somewhere close, which is something we should get, just like we did with 2015. We should get it. But you know what I think is going to happen? There's going to be another reboot for the franchise. And it's not going to be a good one. We're going to lose the identity of what Need for Speed should be once again. And, hey, yeah, what's up? What's your next Need for Speed game? Oh, Need for Speed Carbon 2019. And it's going to be break to drift. You're going to find cars in every corner. And they're going to basically ruin another great Need for Speed game. Or maybe Need for Speed Underground 3. But it doesn't need customization, you know. It's underground because they race in the sewers, you know. Like, it sounds stupid, but something like that can happen. I mean, they allowed Hot Pursuit 2010 to become a game. They allowed Most Wanted 2012 to become a game. Hell, I think the worst thing that can happen at this point is Need for Speed goes back into a yearly cycle. Come on. If that happens, rest in peace, Need for Speed. Because we know what happened every time a next-gen console came around, especially when this generation came around. We know what happened to Need for Speed. Especially when this generation... No, go back, because this generation has actually been kind, mostly, to Need for Speed. Late PS3/Xbox 360, we know what happened. They could not keep up. You've got games like The Crew being made. Forza makes a game every, 2 years, 3 years? And look at their games. I mean, they're boring. Well, for me they are, because I like arcade racing. But for simulation, for guys who like simulation, Forza's at the top. Okay? For a reason. Because they take 2 years or so to make a game. So it's polished, and there's not really that much bugs. Need for Speed, on the other hand, it's either buggy as heck, or it's just bland. And there's no real substance, and that's what we need in these Need for Speed games, and that's what we had in 2015, and even Payback. Payback had substance, it had an identity. Yeah, I added off-road. Let's not talk about that though. But it had an identity, okay? And if we got a Need for Speed Payback 2, I mean, I wouldn't have been happy, but I still would have preferred that over what could happen now, okay? Need for Speed Rivals 2, basically, could be in the works. I don't bloody know, and I really hope that's not the case, because you guys know my opinion on Rivals. You know how long that took me to turn on that game. 2 weeks. I just don't want this to happen. Okay, we need a story in our Need for Speed games. Okay, even Rivals had a story. And you know why? Because Ghosts were leading it. Okay, yes, they had help from Criterion, and that's why the gameplay was really shit. But, you know, I don't want this franchise to go back in the dark ages. I love this franchise. I grew up with games. Need for Speed Underground, Need for Speed Underground 2, Need for Speed Most Wanted, Need for Speed Carbon, Need for Speed Pro Street, Need for Speed Undercover. Those games are what I grew up on. Those games are what most Need for Speed fans grew up on. Those games are what should be the concept, should be the idea, should be the idea of foundation for every future Need for Speed game. And that was what Need for Speed 2015 was, and that was what Need for Speed Payback tried to be, okay? What's going to happen now? We're gonna give it back to Criterion Games. Craig Sullivan. Yep. Gonna give the reins back to you. We want you to make Need for Speed Most Wanted 2012 again. That's what's gonna happen, isn't it? I mean, I wouldn't be too, you know, mad with that from a multiplayer standpoint, because Most Wanted 2012 was second to none when it comes to all the Need for Speed multiplayers. Most Wanted 2012 was amazing for multiplayer. Single player, however, is not good. But we all know what EA like about single player. Nothing. They don't work hard on it anymore. They said it themselves. They concentrate more on making multiplayer games. And that was my main problem with Need for Speed 2015. Because it always had to be online. And that's what I prefer Payback to being. Because you can play single player. You don't need to be online all the time. I have to have a stable Wi-Fi connection to even play Need for Speed 2015. And I have such a problem with that because it's such a great game. I don't know. Oh, come on, EA. You don't need to kill Need for Speed. You killed Battlefield 5. You're making a bunch of money off FIFA, which is literally the same game every year. Same with Madden. Okay? You got a good thing going with NBA Live. But look what's going to happen there. Watch what's going to happen. They're going to kill that, aren't they? Watch. I wouldn't be surprised if they did that, honestly. But I'm not too worried about that. I only play the demos once a year. It's fine. I still love them games, honestly. But yeah, I only play it once a year. I'm not going to really complain about that. But what I am going to complain about is Need for Speed. It better not go the way I think it is heading. Because like the games like Most Wanted 2012 and Hot Pursuit 2010 and Rivals were the reason why I quit playing Need for Speed back in 2014 in the first place. That's why I missed out on Need for Speed 2015, because I didn't think it was any good. Yeah, it had a story, but I really thought it was boring. So you know what I got instead? The Crew. Okay, and now look at the Crew. The Crew 2. What the fuck's that identity? It's in the middle of arcade and simulation. Okay? In my mind, you have three genres of racing games. You've got simulation, which is spearheaded by Forza. You got the in-between, which is the Crew 2 at this point. And you've got arcade with a story, which is Need for Speed. That's what it should be. What are you going to do now? You're either going to copy Forza, or you're going to copy the Crew, or you're going to make another Payback, which no one is going to be happy with any of those choices. I don't want to see this franchise die. I don't. Need for Speed covered the majority of my childhood, along with Ratchet and Clank, which is dead. Ratchet and Clank is dead. There's no point in me buying the remaster, the reboot, because I don't like it, and it's dead. Ratchet and Clank's dead. Other games that I played on the PS3, most of them are dead. I just don't know what to think anymore. I don't want Need for Speed to die. This was my childhood. This game is my childhood. Most of it, anyways. Actually, no, even when I did quit Need for Speed, I still played Carbon. I still played Most Wanted 2012. I still played Pro Street, a game I still play to this day, along with Carbon. I still played Undercover, a game that I would play if I hadn't lost all my games. I just played Need for Speed The Run today. It doesn't even have much in it. Okay, it's a 2 hour to 3 hour game, and that is in my top 5, easily in my top 5. Need for Speed The Run, made by EA Black Box. I mean, out of Ghost and Black Box, I'd go with Black Box because they made Most Wanted, Carbon and that, but they're not coming back because EA closed them down because of how bad The Run did. And I laugh at these fans now who are begging for EA Black Box to be back, and yet you ridiculed Need for Speed The Run. I'm mostly part of that, but I wasn't a hardcore fan back then. The only problem I had with The Run is that it was short, but I played the fuck out of the multiplayer until Most Wanted 2012 came out. Then I played the fuck out of that. Not really the same with Rivals. I didn't really try that much with Rivals. I didn't want another Most Wanted 2012. And you know what the funny thing is? Back then, I felt the same way for Need for Speed as I do now for WWE 2K. It's a reskin of the same game. 2K19 is 2K18, 2K18 is 2K17, 2K17 is 2K16. None of them are entertaining. None of them entertaining enough anyway. The only reason I like 2K17 so much is because it did so much to me. For my channel, it basically made my channel. And the memories I have with 2K17. And most of them were solo. Me playing the game on my own. That's why I'm going to go back to it. Because it's something I need in my life once again. Something to play solo. But yeah, I can interact with you guys. And yeah, you know, make everything myself. Again. And that's what I want to do. That's why I'll be bringing 2K17 back sometime next year. So watch out for that. But I'm going off topic. I want Need for Speed to be the spearhead of my channel. Yeah, I'm getting Red Dead Redemption 2 soon. Yeah, I'll make a lot of content on that in the next few years. But Need for Speed, I want that to be the forefront of my channel. I want to be a Need for Speed channel. But the last thing I want to do is do the same thing for Need for Speed as I do for WWE 2K, because it would just kill my love for video games. Okay? When I was playing 2K18, sometimes I didn't even want to get up to record videos for 2K18. It just killed the passion for me. I don't want Need for Speed to do that to me. So EA, I know you won't listen to me. You won't listen to anyone. So I just hope that you won't do anything to Ghost. That Ghost will be fine. They'll get another executive producer with similar ideas. And I really hope that the rumour going around that you put pressure on Marcus Nilssen because of his ideas for 2019, I really hope that's not true. Because you've just killed Need for Speed otherwise. Which is, whether it's good or bad, Need for Speed still sells. Need for Speed still makes money for you. Okay? More than Battlefield, more than Madden, I won't say more than FIFA, but more than the majority of your games. Okay? Aside from FIFA, Need for Speed is your biggest franchise. That's what I'm saying. And I'll say that without any doubts. Aside from EA Sports FIFA, Need for Speed is your biggest franchise. And if you kill that, you got a problem. Okay? You got a huge problem. And the backlash is going to be insane if you kill off Need for Speed. I know you won't kill off Need for Speed because it does still sell. But you'll kill it in relevancy. And that's something I don't want to see happen. Okay? Actually, I would rather see the franchise die on a high note. Similar high note with Payback. Okay, that's the highest note we're going to get in my mind right now. I'd rather see it die right now. At a seemingly high point, sort of. Than to you give us some really bad games and people to leave. Okay? I don't like it, okay? And there's many people saying that, oh, good riddance, I really hope Ghost gets fired. You're fucking stupid. You are fucking stupid if you want Ghost to go. Because if that happens, you may as well just get the hashtag R.I.P NFS to be trending again, just like it was back in 2013. Do you want that to happen? Because it sounds like it. Because I've seen people who prefer Rivals over the last two games. Like, most of you probably don't even play Rivals anymore. Like, get out of here. Okay? Just like IGN, you play the game for a week, you give it a good rating, and you never play it again, but you still have a high opinion on it. Okay? And before any of you say, oh, but you have a high opinion of Carbon and you barely play that. You have a high opinion of Underground, you barely play that. I went back to Underground the other day. I had tons of fun. Okay? Tons of fun. Which is what I want for this game, this franchise. I want us to go back to these newer games in about 10 years and say, oh, that was a good time for Need for Speed. Okay? Not, I really wish Need for Speed didn't die. I really wish we had a good Need for Speed game. I really wish that, you know, I don't want to do that, okay? Because that's what people were doing when Rivals came out. When Rivals hit the box, it died so fast. And I see this going the same way WWE 2K is going. Something that was so good back in the day. Think about it. Back in the days of the PS2 and early PS3, everybody had a WWE game. Everybody. Whether you watched WWE or not. I didn't watch WWE back in the day, but I had tons of wrestling games because they were just so fun. Okay? Everyone had a WWE game back in the day, and it was the same with Need for Speed. Everyone had at least one Need for Speed game. If you were interested in cars, Need for Speed. Not Forza, not the Crew, there wasn't the Crew. Juiced wasn't big enough, and that died actually. Juiced 2 killed that. And Burnout. It was either Need for Speed or Burnout, or Gran Turismo. The majority went with either Need for Speed or Gran Turismo. And, you know, some were Burnout as well. But Burnout died for that reason, I do assume. But Gran Turismo is still alive. Gran Turismo is still the spearhead of simulation racers. I don't really care what Forza make with their motorsport. It don't beat Gran Turismo. Sorry, that's just the case. But the last thing I want is for a lot of people talking about how, you know, Gran Turismo and Forza are good, and then EA get power hungry, and then whoop, Need for Speed Shift 3. Who the fuck wants that? I swear to God, if that is announced at E3 or Gamescom or wherever you're going to announce the next Need for Speed game, if the next game is Shift 3, I'm going to be so fucking angry. I'll still buy it, yeah. And then probably hand it in back as a refund once I've done a video on it. But that's the last thing I want. I've got a simulation racer. A game that is... I don't really think any game is going to beat that as a simulation racer for years to come. That's Drive Club. I've got a simulation racer, and in my mind, the best one. Exclusive to PlayStation. So fuck you, Xbox. You ain't getting Drive Club. But, not obviously, because Drive Club's dead, but... You know. Sony. Just like EA. You fucking killed a great franchise. Battlefield's fucking dead for EA, like I've said. No one's playing Battlefield 5. I remember the hype that came out for that. I remember the trailer. Everyone was so hyped over Battlefield 5. I feel sorry for them. It's the same with Fallout 76. Everyone was so hyped. No one talks about it now. No one. Okay? I mentioned Fallout 76 and they say, oh, you're a bit late to this topic. Fallout 76 came out, what, a month and a half ago? Come on. Like, I don't want Need for Speed to be like that, you know? I don't want it to be irrelevant. Okay? Need for Speed was just starting to get back on its feet again. It was pushing 1 million views for the biggest NFS YouTubers. It was, let me repeat that for you. It was starting to push 1 million views. Okay? You don't see Rivals videos do that, do you? You fucking don't. They were pushing 100,000 at best. Need for Speed died. I don't want that to happen again. Honestly, I don't know what's going to happen with Need for Speed. What's going to happen with EA Ghost. If Ghost get the sack, if they get disbanded, then I really fear for the future of the franchise. I don't know. I'm playing Red Dead Redemption 2 tonight. I really should not be making videos like this. Because it really hits my heart badly. Because I love Need for Speed. Just like I love wrestling, which is why I kept buying WWE games. But I can't be bothered with them anymore because of this consistent bad games. And I don't want that to happen with Need for Speed. Okay? I'll give them a chance this year. I'll still buy the game. But if it's not any good, then Need for Speed 2021, it's not looking good. Hell, Need for Speed 2019 is not looking good, honestly, at this point. I guess we'll see what happens. It has only just been announced. Anything can happen at this point. The last thing we want happening is Ghost getting the sack, or the trajectory of Need for Speed and the idea of Need for Speed, the vision changing. That doesn't need to happen, and it shouldn't happen. Let me know what you guys think. I'm going to upload this as fast as possible. Not really going to do any editing. Just uncut. Do you know what the funny thing is? In 2019, I was planning to make a Dear EA Ghost Need for Speed 2019 suggestions video. I don't even know if I can do that now. Because I know for a fact Ghost would have listened to me. Someone at Ghost would have listened to me. They watch a bunch of YouTube videos. I don't know about it now. I really don't know. Because Ghost, unlike most companies, listened to the fans. Okay, they listened. Look at Need for Speed 2015. They listened, and the hardcore fan base loved it. They loved it. I mean, didn't do good for reviews, but it was a great reboot. In my mind, perfect reboot. And it's what the games should have continued to be. Yeah, they fucked up on Payback, but I was really thinking Need for Speed 2019. The 25th anniversary, I've just remembered. How bad would it be if the 25th anniversary of Need for Speed was shit? 25 years of Need for Speed. And we'll get something like, what, Hot Pursuit? 2010? Something like that. I don't want that. I don't want another Rivals. I don't want another Hot Pursuit as good as they used to be back in the early 2000, 2001 in the 90s. As good as Hot Pursuit was, that's not what Need for Speed is now. It's underground racing, customization, a bunch of it. And it's what it always should be until video gaming dies itself. Need for Speed should always be like that. But, let me know what you guys think. What's going to happen with Need for Speed? I really don't know. It really worries me. But, thank you guys for watching. If you liked it, hit that like button as hard as you possibly can. Comment, share, and subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you on the next video. Peace.